Oh man, this looks good.
Goodness.
It's multiple layers even. Look at these views, this is just spectacular.
This reminds me of the Rockies in Canada, only in South America and cheaper.
Peru. When you hear that name, your mind probably jumps to Machu Picchu. But if you look beyond that, Peru seems to have it all. From coastal deserts to Amazon jungle, from the towering peaks of the Andes to one of the best cuisines in the world. As we're spending a year driving across South America in our camper van, we couldn't pass up the chance to explore one of its most exciting countries. In this video, you'll join us for our first days in Peru, which we're going to spend in the high mountains.
Like, how often do you get to go these off-roads with these sheer cliffs?
We'll explore glaciers, stunning mountain lakes, and indigenous towns, all while trying not to succumb to the high altitude. How high is it?
4,800, I think.
By the way, we've partnered up with Safety Wing for this video, more on them later. Okay, so we just left Ecuador and crossed the border into the north of Peru. We're at this super tiny makeshift border post here. It took them over 2 hours just to process our paperwork because their printer was down. Apparently the north of Peru is just all sand and desert. That is not what I expected at all. So it turned out that on our way to the mountains, we'd be crossing a vast stretch of coastal desert. We're excited to also experience this part of Peru, so different from the images you usually see of this country. So after a few hours of driving, we stopped off in the city of Trujillo, which is surrounded by desert on one side and the Pacific Ocean on the other. The main reason people come to Trujillo is to explore the ruins right outside of town. But before we go there, it's time for some lunch and our first bites of Peruvian cuisine.
Look at this. This is Peru's national dish, the most famous dish. It's called ceviche. And these are 3 or 4 different types of fish preparations. These two are ceviche, white ceviche, black ceviche. We got some fried fish, got some corn, we got some potatoes. Cheers, guys. Oh, that's good. It's got this fresh lime to it. It is quite spicy. And you can taste that the fish is just super fresh.
And then we have this. This is causa, which is like the second most famous dish Peru has. It is potato with all sorts of goodies in there. There's mayonnaise, there's lime, because I love their lime in Peru. There's avocado, and this one is topped with lobster. They even gave me a little bit of extra sauce just in case all of this is not enough. There's all these layers in there. There's avocado. You have lots of lobster, some other veggies in there. The sauce is just incredible. I'm not even upset about the extra sauce. It's a good decision, I think.
After lunch, before continuing to the mountains, we decided to visit the Chan Chan ruins, located 15 minutes outside of Trujillo.
Alright, we're gonna make a quick pit stop here at these crazy ruins here.
Imagine a city built almost entirely out of mud bricks, home to grand palaces and temples, and housing 60,000 people in the middle of the desert. That is what Chan Chan used to be like when it was built around 1300 AD.
When you think of ruins in Peru, you probably think of Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
But up here in the north of Peru, on the coast, this is what the ruins were like.
Yeah, this was built hundreds of years before the Incas built Machu Picchu.
Chan Chan was constructed by the Chimu civilization, and it's the largest city to have been built in the Americas up until Columbus discovered this part of the world.
Who would ever expect something like this in Peru? I didn't.
I kind of really can relate to this Chimu civilization. Even like centuries ago, they were really smart and they basically built most of their houses like one big wine cellar.
So we entered Peru from the north, coming from Ecuador, and over the next month or so, we're going to be driving all across it, all the way down to the south, and hit up all of the major sites, Machu Picchu, the Amazon jungle, all of it. But our first goal now is to head into the mountains east. Up here still in the north, but east.
We left the coast and drove inland into the sunset, ready to chase higher altitudes and one of Peru's most beautiful mountain lakes in the morning.
Good morning, guys. Today we woke up at this really beautiful place with an amazing view of trucks. Today we are driving up into the mountains to one of the most beautiful parts in Peru, which I'm really excited about. It's currently 7 AM. It's time to get on the road.
As we set off into the desert on a 4-hour drive, traffic was just starting to wake up. Life out here is very different in many ways to what we're used to back home in Europe. But that's why we travel, isn't it? To see something different. And it had been a long time since we'd seen landscapes like this.
because we just came from Ecuador, where everything was so lush and so green, it's actually a bit of a shock to my system just how barren and empty and the total opposite this landscape is. It's very impressive. So from here we're gonna go to Huaraz, which is located in the mountains in the Cordillera Blanca mountain range of Peru.
Huaraz has all the things Peru is famous for. Incredible scenery with snow-capped mountains and impossibly turquoise lakes. There's fascinating indigenous culture with lively markets and good food, and, if we're lucky, alpacas. In this area, you're constantly at altitudes between 3,000 and 5,000 meters above sea level, so it will be breathtaking in more ways than one.
How's it going? Hello? Hey! Look here, donkey!
Our first stop around Huaraz is going to be Laguna Paron, which is an adventure to get to.
An alpaca!
We've now started driving up to Laguna Paron, which is said to be one of the most beautiful lagunas here around Huaraz. Since it's going to be a 2.5 hour drive from the nearest town, it's going to be pretty remote. We double checked our van to make sure that everything is in order. And we've also checked that our travel medical insurance is still valid, because that is one of the most important things when you're traveling.
Travel medical insurance is one of those things where you're always hoping that you don't need it, but you do really need to have it just in case. Because I can't even begin to explain, like, over the years how many times we've had to use our insurance. We both had COVID a number of times when we were abroad. I had some shoulder issues that I needed to get looked at the ER. And then also there was that one time in the jungle, my face was just swelling up like a balloon. I needed to get that checked out.
One of the things that stops people mostly from taking insurance is the cost. It can sometimes be really expensive. This is why we've partnered up with Safety Wing for this video. Their travel medical insurance is one of the most affordable options on the market. It starts from just a few dollars a day, and it really pales in comparison to the thousands of dollars we would have had to pay if we didn't have insurance.
So we're now at the entrance of the national park. From here on out, the road is going to get a little bit tougher with like a ton of these very small switchbacks.
The main highways in Peru are surprisingly good. I was even thinking, hey, the roads here aren't really that bad, but don't be fooled. The moment you decide to do some trailblazing and head into the mountains, you're in the Wild West. Narrow dirt tracks, potholes big enough to qualify for their own zip codes, and no matter which direction you drive in, the road is always steeply climbing. It's just 10 more miles to the Laguna from here, but it will take us over an hour to drive up there.
Ooh, please get out of the way, ma'am. This feels a little bit like we're in a washing machine or something. Our dishes and all our possessions rattling in the background.
But this is a pretty cool adventure. Like, how often do you get to go these off-roads with these sheer cliffs?
We're now officially in the Cordillera Blanca mountain range. It's a part of the Andes that extends for about 200 kilometers or 120 miles in northern Peru. This area is home to 722 glaciers. When they melt, they give enough water to these lands for all the greenery you see along these cliffs. Okay, so we're one of the only ones here at this parking lot, but I can see one little tour bus coming up the mountain behind that rock over there.
We're gonna hurry to get up there before anyone else gets there.
This actually used to be where the road continued, but then last year a landslide wiped out this entire section.
Look at the color, the blue of this water. Incredible.
It took us 4 hours to drive here over probably the roughest road we've ever driven on. But it's definitely worth it. I mean,
when the sun comes out, there's this mountain way off in the background that is like snow-capped. It looks a little bit like the mountain that you see in the Paramount Pictures intro.
my lady, will you do the honors?
You tell me you're coming too.
Oh. You can rent these boats here for about 20 soles for half an hour. And it's really cool because it gets you right on top of this beautiful, like extremely blue water.
I've never seen this kind of color before, it's crazy.
The reason this water is so blue is because this is molten glacier water that's trickled down from the snow-capped mountains around the lake. There's also lots of sediment in the water, so when the sun hits it, that adds to the turquoise hue. Peru is famous for being a high-altitude country. In fact, the average altitude in Peru across the country is a whopping 1,500 meters or 4,900 feet. Needless to say, we're going to be spending a lot of time at altitude over the next few weeks as we travel further into the Andes to get to Machu Picchu. So it's time for a little test. How well can we deal with the altitude here at Laguna Paron at 4,200 meters or 14,000 feet above sea level?
We can do this.
We can take a nap here and Photoshop ourselves into a viewpoint.
We can do this, come on.
Okay, fine.
We're at 4,200 meters. I think we can make it up to 4,400.
Next time we should probably acclimatize, because 36 hours ago we were at sea level.
Come on, no more excuses. Wow, look at this.
Unbelievable.
We made it.
This reminds me of the Rockies in Canada, only in South America and cheaper. Good morning, guys. Yesterday, after we made it down the mountain, we came to the city of Huaraz, which is located in this valley, in between all these beautiful, dramatic snow-capped peaks. We actually had a bit of a stressful moment coming down the mountain. We hit something sharp with our tire in the right back. There was this really big dent, almost like a hole in the outside of the tire, and that's really, really dangerous to be driving around with, especially in a place like Peru. So we went to a tire shop and we just got 2 new tires for the back. Naick actually woke up not feeling very good this morning. He's feeling a little bit sick, so he's gonna rest for a little bit. While he does that, it's just gonna be you and me. And we're gonna explore a local market up here in the highlands, which I'm really excited about. Okay, that's a bit more chaos than I was maybe expecting. All the tuk-tuks very busy here with all these stalls. I think that is the market entrance. Oh, it's so interesting. Right as you enter here, you have this whole area that just has, like, I wouldn't call it fresh produce, but like basic prepared stuff, like all these cool little salsas, 500 different kinds of beans. And then over here you have the meat aisle, the meat section, with just these huge slabs of meat hanging down from these bars.
The Huaraz market is a bustling hub filled with people from indigenous communities who come here from all over the Peruvian highlands to sell their goods. In addition to the more permanent stalls packed with fresh produce, you'll see many vendors sitting on the ground both inside and outside the market.
I just find these markets so fascinating because it really gives you like this glimpse into the local culture that you can't really get if you're just driving through the town or out hiking up on a mountain where there's not a whole lot of people.
Tengo una pregunta, ¿todo es listo para comer o necesito preparar? Porque no conozco.
Esto ya está ya, falta aderezarlo.
Ok. ¿Como una de eso?
¿Cuánto?
Un cucharón.
¿Está bien?
Sí, perfecto. Igual de eso y eso, por favor.
Adobo.
Gracias, hasta luego.
Hay para 3 kilos.
We usually never buy meat at a market like this because oftentimes there will be flies on there or the meat's been sitting out in the sun for a while, but here the meat actually seems really good. So let's buy some and see later if it's actually any good.
Anyone alive in there?
I'm right here alive and well.
Strawberry and naranja orange juice. Got us some chicken empanadas.
Oh, wow, thank you so much.
2 pounds of beef. And then a whole bunch of these veggie toppings and salsas and stuff. You want to know how much all of this was combined? $11 for everything.
Did you rob someone, kid?
So from here, the route that we're going to be taking to Lima is going to take us straight through the mountains, past glaciers and a whole bunch of other beautiful stops. But we really need to get to Lima by tomorrow evening, because the day after, we're actually flying to the Amazon jungle. We booked those flights yesterday evening. So today we're going to do a little bit of sightseeing, start the drive towards the capital.
Welcome, committee.
Gracias.
We just made the turn off to get to the Pastori Glacier. From here on it's like an hour, 1.5 hours on, again, dirt roads. But look at these views, this is just spectacular. I mean, so far Peru has been way better and more spectacular in terms of landscape than I'd ever expected. Food's amazing, people are kind, it's just the beginning.
The Pastori Glacier is located at high altitude, at 5,000 meters deep inside the Huarascan National Park. And this sure feels like we're driving towards the edge of the world.
Look at these cool trees, bushes, plants, I don't know what it is. They're called Puya Raimondi. It says here they live for 40 up to 100 years. They grow 6 to 15 meters. Look at this flock of sheep. They're crossing the road. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's moments like this that make us appreciate what a journey we're on. Here we are in the heart of Peru in our European camper van, surrounded by snow-capped mountains, all because of an idea 2 years ago to drive from Alaska to Argentina.
Wow. Whew. How high is it?
4,800, I think.
I think that's the highest we've gone since we've gotten to not even just Peru, but like South America in general. Apparently there's been another landslide. Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna try to get all the way up to the glacier. I'm not sure if it's gonna work because clouds are already moving in again. We're really high up and it's about to be dark in a couple hours, so we'll see. But I can really feel the altitude here. I'm all lightheaded and stuff, slightly dizzy. I've also been having some issues lately with like my sinuses. This reminds me of what I was saying earlier regarding our travel medical insurance, Safety Wing. Back when we were still in Ecuador, we were not using them. And I actually went to the doctor and it was like $60, $70 for a doctor's visit, this spray and a bunch of other stuff. And I wanted to file the claim for insurance. And I couldn't because the deductible at that point was like $250. Safety Wing does not have that. Whether you have to spend $10 or $10,000, you can claim any amount back. Which I might need in a minute.
You can book it online in just 5 minutes. Their coverage is $250,000 for medical expenses. Just for a couple of dollars a day, you can have peace of mind. You're covered in 180 countries and you don't have to think about, you don't have to worry, am I insured or not? So go check out Safety Wing for your next holiday. Go break a leg.
You can walk up all the way to the Pastoruri Glacier at 5,250 meters above sea level. This is one of the few glaciers on our planet that are near the equator. But due to climate change, it's also one of the fastest shrinking glaciers in the world, receding a whopping 15 meters per year. It has already lost half of its mass compared to the 1980s. But it is still damn impressive today. Unfortunately, because of that landslide, the hike up to the glacier would take double the time we'd planned for, and the weather was starting to turn on us, so we decided to be responsible adults and turn back.
We just spotted 2 alpacas. Alpacas? Are these llamas or alpacas?
How cool are they? Just living in these mountains here.
Thank God we got to see them here.
So we're continuing our drive to Lima in the morning. For tonight we found a remote park up surrounded by beautiful mountains on all sides, kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Sure, you want me to do this, because once I put it in there, there's no undoing it. The flavor will have been altered forever.
Yes, please.
We're putting this little chocolate spoon that we bought in Ecuador in our coffee.
No, it's not good, Kim. I'll take care of the other spoon too.
Melt it away. That's really good.
This is probably one of the most beautiful campsites we've ever stayed at. We're at 4,000 meters of altitude, which is probably like 14,000 feet.
We have to get to Lima today, and then we leave to the Amazon tomorrow. So we really have to drive. And I just hope, we've never like spent the night at 4,000 meters of altitude in the car before. I just hope that when we try to start it, it starts. Now these salsas that I bought, the ladies said they were spicy, so I'm just gonna do a little bit. Did you like spicy?
Maybe not at 10 a.m. in the morning. That is spicy.
Snoop Dogg, 4,000 meters. Well.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Ah, sí. ¿Pasaporte?
No, del vehículo.
Ok, bien. This is one of the only countries where they frequently check us.
Yeah, we checked one bidder.
After a good few hours of driving, we arrived on the coast just north of Lima.
So after driving pretty much all afternoon, driving literally 4,000 meters down from the mountains to here at sea level, we have come to a place where they have some seafood. Because we're at the sea, I'm in the mood for food.
I see food and I eat it.
I don't know exactly what this is, but it is relleno, so filled with majestuosa tortilla. A majestic tortilla?
Cheers! This is pisco sour, the national drink of Peru. It's made with pisco, a local type of alcohol. Put in some lime, some sugar, and then an egg white, raw egg white, and they mix it up. And that is the traditional drink here. Let's try it. It's actually really good. The egg white is a little bit weird, but
This is a thing I love about Peru. It doesn't just have the mountains, it doesn't just have the Amazon jungle, Machu Picchu, like the coast. It has all those things combined. It's such like a fantastic little package with like this layer of fantastic food and nice people and lots of culture. I love it so much. I really love it. Cheers to Peru.
alright, this is their specialty with seafood and fish in it. It's called taku taku. It's basically a giant taco or tortilla that they said.
Oh
Filled.
my god, this is the majestic one.
Yeah, this is the majestic one. Let's some rice, get seafood in there. Cheers. It's very soft, gooey, and there's loads and loads of different types of seafood in there. There's also some sole in there, which is apparently a local specialty from the coast here.
Because I really love ceviche, I have ordered leche de tigre. Literally that's tiger milk, and it also looks like I ordered some sort of weird milkshake. But there's fish in here, and then there's some toasted corn here and some fried up plantains. The sauce is basically like a spicy citrus marinade that is supposed to be the best way to have ceviche. Oh my goodness, that is the best way to have ceviche. We just stopped at a gas station to fuel up. I have 2 surprises. Chocolate. A Peruvian flag for Vinny. The next day, bright and early, we arrived at the capital of Peru, Lima, where we promptly abandoned our van in a slightly dodgy parking lot. Leaving Vinny in this parking lot. See you in a few days, boy. From here, we're flying to the Amazon jungle in the north of Peru. Jungle tribes, insane wildlife, petting anacondas, and eating barbecued crocodile. It's all gonna be in our next video. And we've got our safety ring insurance just in case. If you don't have travel medical insurance yet for your next vacation, click the link in the description box and get it sorted out with Safety Ring in just a couple minutes. Better safe than sorry. And we'll see you in the Amazon.